Yes. Now, over in Queensland, Tom, they're doing a bunch of drug testing, a bunch of surveys into cocaine, and it's been found that there's a chemical, phenacetin, that's been found in a few of the samples. So just another reason to be wary about these sort of drugs is that it's a painkiller that was banned in the 90s, and it pretty much causes cancer.
Yeah, right.
So
and that's being found in a lot of the cocaine here in Australia.
Yep, exactly right. So it could make its way down here in Adelaide. So once again, another reason to be very careful if you are partaking in that stuff. Over in Adelaide as well, yesterday morning at 5:30, paramedics arrived to a 20-year-old man unconscious on Hindley Street.
Right.
Over a violent attack to do with a girl. He's gone to the Royal Adelaide Hospital, but hopefully he'll be okay. Police later arrested a 23-year-old that was involved in that incident.
Has there been an update what kind of condition the 20-year-old's in?
I think he's stable, but they're keeping a close eye on it because there's been brain bleeds and things like that with the situation, broken ribs, so he's not in a good way. Horrible stuff. Just keep up looking after your mates when you go out to those sort of places.
Yeah, especially be careful on Hindley Street because
definitely
it is just a dangerous spot on a Saturday, Friday night.
And you hear about these things all the time, but yeah, this was at 5:30 in the morning, so yeah, very reckless time there. In a bit happier news, got the Olympics results. Obviously, the closing ceremony happened. United States came out on top. They did a very good job, but Aussies came in fourth, racking up 53 medals, 18 of them gold, which, like we've said before, if you compare this to our much, much smaller population compared to these other countries, per capita, we've done really well.
Yeah, I believe it was Japan that took third spot away from us. They were above with only about 2 gold medals. I think they had 20, we had 18. So not a bad effort from the Aussies. I mean, speaking of the Aussies at the Olympics, we will be speaking about ray gun just a little bit later on.
Yes, the breakdancer, very infamous around Australia now, but we'll get to the bottom of it because I don't know too much about breakdancing. Let's get a proper opinion about it.
Need to have a chat about some driving icks this morning. A new survey has come out with the top 10 biggest driving icks. We'll run through some of them in just a moment. The reason I want to bring this to attention is you are on your L's. You are looking to get your license. So I thought, what better way to help you out than to let you know some of the biggest icks so you can avoid them and be the best driver possible.
Well, I like how we're going into a list of all the different icks, but I feel like the biggest ick in itself is that I don't drive. So that, that's the more
25 with your L's.
That's the more pressing one at the moment. So,
out of curiosity, how long until you have to renew those L's again?
Oh, I did it on the weekend. I reckon I've renewed it maybe 10 times, and it's always when I'm out on Hindley Street or something, and I'm about to go to a club, and I've looked at it and I thought, oh God, the ID's expired. So that's the reason why I'm using my ID at the moment. But yes, I am keen to get it fairly soon.
Get involved with us any way you can. We want to hear your biggest driving icks, but let's go through the top 5 here. Number 5, when other drivers don't do the thank you hand gesture when you let them in. 40% of people said that on the survey. That was a big ick.
Yeah.
I reckon that's my number 1, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not even so much an ick, that one, but people just get pissed off. That's more of an outrage.
You'll probably experience it. I feel like you're less likely to get the hand wave if you do drive a bit of a crappier car, which I do.
You reckon there's a status thing with
it's
cars
definitely a status
if you
thing.
get the wave.
And whenever I drive the spare cars, like a Kia Rio, compared to my 1998 Daihatsu Charade, I always get a wave.
Yeah,
I never get it in the Daihatsu.
You've now leveled up. You can warrant a wave.
Number 4, when fellow drivers take your car spot even though you've indicated.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, that's just a rude thing to do. Stop doing that on the roads, people. Another one, number 3, when fellow drivers use their high beams too literally.
Okay, yeah, just got the high beams on.
Yeah.
Blowing your eye sockets out of the other driver.
Basically, avoid the high beams unless you're on country roads late at night. All right? All right, number 2, here we are. We're getting into it now. 51% of the people on this survey said this: not parking within the lines.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so when people park either across 2 parks or they're on the line, so you have to try and really squeeze your car in. You can barely open up your car door. Annoying.
Look, a big ick with that one is when you do have to go to the passenger, i.e. me, and say, hey, can you get out and look if it's in the lines? Just get it in the first time.
And number 1, this is the biggest driving ick according to this new survey: driving too slow in the right-hand lane.
Yeah, okay, grandma speed.
Yeah, so the right-hand lane is the lane for faster cars, for overtaking. Only go in the right lane if you're really overtaking. When people sit in that right lane and they're not going the exact speed limit, it's frustrating.
You're done for.
It's frustrating.
Don't expect a wave either. Expect the middle finger.
We want to go to the text line here, Adelaide, 0428 927 927. Get involved. What's your driving ick?
I mean, could be anything. Like those ones, I guess, yeah, bad parking would have to be there. What about when someone hits the curb when you're about to pull up somewhere and you can see them scrape the tyre along the curb there?
I'll give you one of my other driving icks. When you're at an intersection, you're trying to turn and you're like out there, the light is turning red, which means the other cars have to stop. It's on orange and someone speeds through.
Oh, right, sure.
And then you're about to go, they speed through. Or it's crash central if you're doing that.
Yeah,
Don't
well,
do
that one's
either.
just unsafe as well,
Yeah.
let alone an ick.
The text line's gone gangbusters here. Let's jump straight into it. Somebody's texted in saying, when people have their windscreen wipers going too fast, embarrassing.
See, I feel like that one's funny because it's not necessarily a hazard. It's not really doing anything to anyone else. It's just a bit goofy. You just look like, why are you doing that? This one here, got two trucks in right-hand lane and people with brake or headlights out. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, this is a classic one. People not using indicators.
Classic, great.
Yeah, I cannot stand it when people try and merge into your lane without indicating.
Simple and easy. This one here, when you go in the speed limit and somebody pulls out in front of you and doesn't attempt to speed up, so you have to slam the brakes on.
Yeah, another text here. Tailgating. Also, take note next time some moron is riding your freckle, they are holding the steering wheel with one hand at the 12 o'clock position.
I love that that's definitely someone specifically that they've had an issue with, not just a generalisation.
Yeah, that's just like that person is upset with someone.
Probably happened this morning, 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It's fresh in their mind.
Hey, let's go to the phones here. We got Emily from Glengarry on the line. G'day, Emily. What's your driving ick?
Oh, look, just this morning, boys, I've had my left indicator on two separate occasions. I counted 14 cars that would not let me get in at all.
Right.
I'd say, Adelaide, be kind and pay it forward. If we all work at this together, we can all have a smooth ride.
Emily,
let people in and don't speed up.
I got to say, I don't know if you heard, but me and Callum went to Brisbane recently, and the driving over there, I tell you what, they are some of the kindest drivers in Queensland, because any time the indicator came on, you got put in straight away. Why is it we're so rude here?
I don't get it. I've lived in Melbourne, I've lived in London, and driving in Adelaide is definitely the worst, the rudest of drivers. They've just got to all speed up and then they slow down. Classic, the car that wouldn't let me in the last one is probably now 20 cars back. So have a great day.
Bit of karma there then. I mean, that's worked out, Emily.
Good on you, Emily. Thanks for getting involved. There you go. PSA to all Adelaide drivers. Let's just be kinder.
Be a bit less rude. We got this one here. Clint from Golden Grove. Tell us, what's the driving ick?
Hey boys, how are we?
Yeah,
Very
good,
good.
mate. And yourself?
Good. You actually read my text out just before, but I'll just relay the story anyway. So this happened yesterday. Are you familiar with the Pickled Duck restaurant at Mowbray across from TDP?
Yes,
Sure.
yes, I know it.
Yeah, so I was coming around that kind of bend where the Mowbray Hotel is, and someone pulled out of the Pickled Duck driveway, and I was doing 60, and he's just come out at like 10 k's an hour.
Wow.
Clint.
Got my daughter in the back. It was hectic.
Clint, I understand your frustration on this one. Do you know what I really can't stand? When they pull out in front of you, don't speed up to the speed limit, and they've gotten into your lane when both lanes are free. Like, why didn't you just get into the other lane, mate?
I know. I threw my hands up, and he was kind of gazing at like, what's the issue? And I was like, you fucking serious, mate? Like,
Clint, I mean, we were talking to Emily just about it before. Do you reckon, probably have the rudest drivers, would you say?
yeah, no doubt. I think everyone's very entitled here and thinks they're in more of a rush than the person next to them or whatever. So, yeah, people are quite inconsiderate on the roads in Adelaide, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Good on you, Clint. Thanks for getting involved. Here we go. General consensus. Come on, Adelaide drivers. Let's just be a little more kind. And let's wrap things up with Jenny over in Hillbank. G'day, Jenny. What's your driving ick?
So I drive in the hills a lot.
Yeah.
And people always, like in 100 zone, they always sit on an 80.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so-
especially in the hills, you just got to go the right speed limit, don't you? You don't want to cause any accidents,
Yeah.
don't want to go too slow, too fast.
Well, that's the thing, Jenny. Going too slow is probably just as dangerous as going too fast, isn't it? Because if you turn a
It
corner,
is.
you don't see them there, then you got to slam on the brakes. Who knows what's happening behind you?
Yeah.
Now,
Yep. It happens every day.
And Jenny, to wrap things up as well, do you agree that Adelaide might have some of the rudest drivers on the road?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
We're going to lift our game. Lift our game, Adelaide. Why are we so rude?
I feel like we're usually quite proud people,
Yeah.
but everyone agrees they hate Adelaide drivers. Yesterday, went to the footy. Of course, Crows took on Western Bulldogs, had a huge win
Yes.
over them, beating them by 39 points, 111 to Bulldogs 72. And with that came a lot of goals, right? So the Crows kicked 17 goals.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah. And imagine that you're at a game and a person next to you, complete stranger, after every single goal, high fives everybody he can possibly reach.
Well, he's doing the absolute rounds. It's not just one high five per goal. It's, hey, I'll try and high five everyone in the vicinity.
Everybody.
Maybe 6 people.
After 17 times throughout the game, this guy got up on his feet, high-fived everybody in the row ahead of him, high-fived everybody in our row, and then everybody in the row behind us.
That's insane.
And it
That's
happened
insane.
17 times without fail. It got to a point towards the end of the game where even the kids behind him didn't want to high-five anymore. It's like our hands are red raw.
It
It's
seems
such
like-
an over-celebration.
It
Like,
seems
come
like
on, man.
He's gone to high five you. You've got your hands in your pockets now. He seems like the sort of guy that would try and rip your arm out of your hoodie pocket by your wrist just to tap hands.
At one point, we were like, I don't know, 40, 50 points up. And then another goal was kicked. He's like, yeah, high five.
It's just
like,
so-
mate, the game's done. You don't need to keep high-fiving. It's just rubbing it in now.
Unnecessary, yeah. I mean, it goes down to those weird celebrations, those people that overdo it. I mean, when we went to Brisbane last week, we had a holiday, went there for a few days. Remember, there were a few people that clapped on the plane when it landed. And it's not like it was... there wasn't any turbulence. It was quite a smooth ride. It wasn't, some sort of record-breaking plane flight. It was just bizarre.
It just seems like such an American thing to clap when a plane lands, doesn't it?
Oh, hugely. Especially, like I said, it was to Brisbane, and it was, by all accounts, quite an easy ride.
I reckon the worst over-celebration I've seen this year is earlier on this year, I was watching a mate play just local footy. It was B grade,
Yeah.
Div 4, nothing crazy. And the losing team were about 4 or 5 goals down. A guy on the losing team kicks a goal and then does a front flip and shushes the crowd.
Front flip, what? Is he?
And he
Like-
shushed the crowd.
So you're not Tiger Woods. You don't have to showboat like that.
It's local footy, mate.
Tom, with so many things happening in the Olympics, it's hard to, it's hard to put in a list what the best moment has been, right? You've got the Turkish shooter, you got Snoop Dogg being at the Olympics, but
Pole vaulter.
Yeah, exactly right. There's been so many funny things that have happened, but I feel like this may take the cake, and it is causing a lot of discussion between Australians as to the quality of the performance. But it is, of course, the breakdancer Rachel Gunn, aka Ray Gunn, her performance over the last few days in which she did breakdancing. And
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it, it's just it looks like an exorcism.
Whoa, come off it.
There's a lot of just flailing limbs and stuff, and I don't want to bag her out too much because I'm not a good dancer. I'll admit that. My move is the sprinkler. So, she's obviously got one up on me and a lot of other Australians to actually be in the Olympics. I'm sure she is very talented, but this performance, like I said, has had its discussion where people think, geez, what happened there?
Right. So, she's copped a lot of backlash online. General reaction at Paris was pretty positive. It wasn't until all this hit the internet where people have started to be pretty cruel towards it. I actually think she did a good job.
Do you reckon? Yeah, because we were watching it live at the time. We were still up. And I remember you saying, she's going to win this.
You know
I was
what?
like, I don't think so.
You know what? It's not traditional breakdancing, but she put her own spin on it and put her own Australian spin on it with the little kangaroo hops.
Yep. Saw that. But yeah, I mean, so she has got applause from other angles of people saying, she's repping the colours, she's doing a great job. But
She's the best female breakdancer in Australia. I know a lot of people saying that there are better breakdancers here in Australia, but there's not. She won she won a thing last year, competition that put her into the Olympics.
yeah, well, that's the thing as well, that even if she had a bit of a blunder this one, she would have to still be quite talented and good at what she does.
Yeah, she's got a PhD in dance.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
There you
so
go.
she's got a background of ballroom dancing. So to be able to go from something of ballroom dancing and then go into breakdancing. She's only been doing it for 12 years and then make the Olympics. It's pretty special. And she's got my support. But, of course, we do know how most people feel at the moment. So we are going to go to the text line. What did you think of Ray Gunn's performance?
Yeah, I mean, do you know a bit about breakdancing? You don't have to know anything. You can just give your opinion. But if you do know a little bit about breakdancing, it'll help. Maybe Australians just are unaware of the art form that was what she did.
Hey, I think she did a great job. But we want to hear your opinion, Adelaide. This text here, somebody has texted in saying, does anyone know who won the women's breakdancing? No. Everyone's talking about the Aussie girl, so I personally think she won. Absolute legend.
Hey, could be
Great point.
Could be the next. You know what? It could be the next. How Bradbury is a bit of a verb. I did a Stephen Bradbury. Could be.
I ray-gunned it.
I ray-gunned on the weekend.
Uh-oh.
That doesn't sound good. We got this one here. Hi, legends. I thought she was great. She was brave. She had a crack, and for people that are bagging it out, pull your heads in. Fair
All
point.
right. Well, hey, let's go to the phone lines here. We got Adrian from Golden Grove. Adrian, you've got a bit of background in breakdancing, mate.
Yeah, being 51, mate, been around a while and been with Fresh FM ever since with the dance music, back with the hip-hop days when breakdancing was starting, and was with a lot of friends and people who were breakdancing. Look, mate, I used to ballroom dance to be a state champion, and mid-session they had little breakdancing competitions. At 8 years old, I was out on the floor doing it. I wasn't the best. I couldn't do the helicopter, but I could do a few things.
Yep.
And I love the development of breakdancing, the insane skills of breakdancers. And to see come into the Olympics was incredible. I thought this is a great opportunity for people to see how good breakdancers are, how much talent it is, how much, there's no way we could do these things. They spin on their fingers, their heads, they do insane moves. And we get to the Olympics and Australia represents someone who looks like they've given it a go at a wedding, had a few tipsies and got on the dance floor and given it a crack.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think I've seen my uncle like that after a few wines at a wedding. It's pretty similar.
Yeah. Oh, seriously, mate. I'm devo for breakdancing. I'm devo for the awesome breakdancers we do have in Australia. I always stop when they're on the street in the city still, and people stop to see their skills. It's insane. There are insane breakdancers around still. Look, good on her for giving it a crack. She's very brave, and she did practice, and she's got some nice pop and lock and moves and that. But listen, mate, I had a few tipsies a few weeks ago and got the turtle out and the worm, and I'm 51 and could do half the stuff she's doing. So I don't know, man. I think I might have gone in for the Olympics. I should have given it a crack. What do you reckon?
Well, I thought you were talking yourself up a bit, so maybe we'll send you off.
I could have got a Bradbury.
Yeah.
Hey, have you seen how dangerous breakdancing is, mate? All of them could have just popped the knee, locked an elbow. I could have done a Bradbury. No worries, mate. No worries at all.
Well, keen to see you there, Los
Adrian,
Angeles.
I have plenty of faith in you. Could have done a Bradbury, but I got it. You were saying you're a bit disappointed on the way this has made breakdancing look, but don't you reckon this has become worldwide news? Everyone's talking about breakdancing now. Don't you think it has some?
This is very true. This is very true. But if that's what the level that people thinking that breakdancing is, it loses the respect for the intensity and the training and the complexity of these moves these guys are doing. And if they're seeing a bit much of this, people go, "Oh, that breakdancing is pathetic." It's just they're just jumping around on the floor and having a conniption lying down like a fetal position, and then it's a bit of a mockery on breakdancing, to be honest. And I don't know about the selection process and this competition you talked about, and I don't know who's paying off who, but I don't know, man. No, not sold. Devo that we couldn't represent, and we're getting bagged all over the shop, mate. I went to my Facebook page yesterday, and every second person I know has posted, "What the hell?" And they're not even breakdancing people. This is every second people. I'd scroll down for half an hour. Every second person on my Facebook had a picture of a kangaroo.
Breakdancers are in mourning right now.
Good on you, Adrian, mate. Really appreciate you calling up. Yeah, I mean, interesting to get the perspective of someone with a bit of breakdancing background, but we're going to cross over to Paradise now. We got Alex on the line. G'day, Alex. What did you think of Ray Gunn's performance?
Hello. Performance. I think she's been set up by the Olympic Committee, who set her up and thought she will be good representation of Australian breakdancing theme.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, it is a weird one how that selection process worked. Of course, Adrian said before that how do the selected people look at this and think, wow, it's better than everyone else if these are the moves?
So, Alex, she won a competition last year, and that was what bolstered her into the Olympics. That got her the pick. So she knows what she's doing. If she's winning other competitions, she's been breakdancing for 12 years. Did you like the performance, Alex, or what do you think?
It's very questionable, and my brother, he'd been doing breakdancing for a few years, and I think he was even teaching people in that clinic some time ago, or many years ago.
What's your go-to dance move if you were to just whip one out if you were performing, if you were to take the stride?
No, I'm more in the high contrast area where tough guys don't dance.
All right, good on you, Alex, mate. Thanks for calling up. Really appreciate it. Everyone getting involved. Let's keep this chat going. Couple texts here. Somebody said we would have been better off sending Jonah Takalua from Summer Heights High than Ray Gunn.
You know what? I'm going to make the call that Chris Lilly, when he did the breakdancing, was more interesting and better than Ray Gunn's.
I completely disagree.
And I would even say Jonah's mates in that show, who probably have a breakdancing background, those actors were just as good.
You're so wrong.
I'm definitely not wrong. I think
Jonah is bad.
Satire. Yeah, but I still think Chris Lilly doing the breakdancing still had more moves than Ray Gunn did.
Yeah, righto, mate. Keep going. What else have we got on the text line?
Absolutely terrible. If her score was 0, there's no doubt that it was not a good or skillful performance. Her coach should take some accountability, though. He fully stitched her up.
There you go. Another text here. I'm an Oz rapper who makes music with USA MCs and had to spend hours on Insta yesterday trying to smooth that performance over with real hip-hop heads. Yeah, okay.
I do love that text, but at the same time, it's like, who are you smoothing it over for? It's not like you're going to be blamed.
The ambassador of Breakdancing Australia.
The president. Oh, God.
Hey, we got Louise from Glengarry on the line. Louise, what did you think of Ray Gunn's performance?
Well, first off, well done to Ray Gunn. Getting into the Olympics is a big thing because you do have to demonstrate a lot of muscle strength and flexibility and articulation. So well done to her for getting it that far. I was really excited about watching that performance. I was sitting there kind of on the edge of my seat, hugging my little, green and gold teddy. And I didn't see her. I mean, I was waiting for her to pull some moves that were going to get her up off the ground really fast and, like just those type of moves where no normal person could do it, where you have to be an Olympian to do it. And I was like, oh my God, what is she doing?
So
I didn't really see. I didn't really see much in the way of just that real get up and go type of movement.
Louise, if we busted out a bit of cardboard for you, do you reckon you could have given Ray Gunn a run for our money?
Definitely not. But I used to do Pilates, and I can tell you don't laugh at it because basically the type of muscle movement that you'd have to do those particular performances that breakdancers do, not many people could do. Like, that would take years and years of actual practicing to do. So, no, I would not be able to do that for you. I've got 2 left feet and 2 left arms in terms of dancing. But she would have had to have made it through those particular loops to get there. To actually get to the Olympics. So she's got to have some kind of physical ability to do it, but she must have really dropped the ball on that day.
Oh, you know what, Louise, I agree with you. Like, to get to that point, you would have to have some skill, and everyone, like any other sport, is going to have a bit of a blunder. It's probably just because breakdancing, we're not used to it. We don't know how it should look. It's just a bit different.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Louise, thanks.
I think personally, she was trying to give it that little go Aussie go type thing, and it just didn't work.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for getting involved. I appreciate your call, Louise. Definitely something to think about there.
Yeah, for sure. Dave in Largs Bay, can you tell us, what did you think of the performance?
I'm still reeling on that. I agree with the Jonah Takalua comment.
Yeah. Do you reckon Chris Lilly is better?
But, no, I reckon good on her because, although, I understand how, it takes a lot of practice and a lot of years and a lot of hard work to get there, and probably a lot of people don't see the funny side But I reckon good on her and just teaches kids, not to give a shit what other people think and just go out there and give it your best.
Oh, once again, it's the Australian spirit. Still commend her for going out there. She's obviously very talented, but yeah.
Dave, did you enjoy the performance then?
I found it quite amusing and entertaining. I'll say that much.
Yeah, we'll leave
It's
it there.
entertaining for different reasons. Admired it in a different way.
Hey, another text just came in. Fully represented Australia like a G. I don't know why people are complaining when we see this dance style every weekend in Hindley. I reckon I've seen Callum try and bust out a few of these moves.
Yeah, I'll go to the Olympics.
We're the pride of South Australia, and we're known as the Adelaide Crow. We are Geelong, the greatest team of all. The West, red, white, blue, they're from Tigerland.
Fresh footy tipping on Fresh 92.7, sponsored by Thirsty Camel.
Yes, Callum, there are $1,000 up for grabs for your grand final party thanks to the legends at Thirsty Camel for unseriously good deals this footy season. Shop online or drive through your local Camel.
Yes, we are at the pointy end of the footy season. It is pretty neck and neck. I feel like every week there's a few games that just take you by surprise, a few upsets, so let's get into it.
Yeah, I got to say this season has gone by so quick. Of course, there are only 2 games left. This was the end of round 22 of 24. And yeah, very close games and a lot of upsets. Sydney beat Collingwood by only 3 points, 89 to 86. Giants got over the top of Brisbane, 64 to 82. Brisbane were the red hot favourites there. It was at the Gabba as well. Another one, West Coast Eagles getting up over North for an upset by 5 points, 97 to 102. It just doesn't stop, these upsets. I mean, Gold Coast Suns beating Essendon out by a point, 86 to 87.
Huge.
Port Adelaide getting up over Melbourne only just by 2 points to bolster them into second position on the ladder due to percentage.
Side note, great there for the lads at Port. I mean, that finish was incredible, getting the goal over the line though.
Absolutely. And then one of the bigger news stories, Hawthorn beating Carlton by 74 points. Carlton 38 to Hawthorn 112. It's the second time this year Carlton's been knocked out of the 8. Hawthorn have gone into the 8 for the first time, beating out Carlton on percentage by giving them an absolute thrashing. And then, of course, yesterday as well, we saw the Crows take on Bulldogs at Adelaide Oval, winning by 39 points, 111 to 72.
Hey, awesome stuff. I mean, side note there, I reckon Hawthorn is in for a good knock.
Yeah, well, they are
great.
Hawthorn are definitely one of the most informed teams at the moment going into finals, and they've got Richmond and then North Melbourne to finish off their year. So it looks like they'll be playing in the final series. They're only paying $12 as well to win the flag now, and about 6 weeks ago they were up at $51. So
bit of a jump.
Yeah, they are doing very well. It'd be an interesting finals. At one point we all thought Sydney, how much will Sydney win by? And now with Sydney's current form, it's looking like it really could be anyone's game. Even Port Adelaide are looking very strong going into finals.
Yeah, Port are smashing now. Hopefully they can keep their groove still.
Yes. Now to look where we're sitting on the tipping competition, we'll look at Kale and Mags first. They were 393rd last week on 94 points. They have moved up to 401st on 97 points, so a bit of a poor round for them.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I've got the computer logged in over here. I almost screamed because I thought it was us logged in. I've accidentally got Cal and Mags logged in on this side, and they did pretty abysmally this week. I thought that was us, so thank God we're not in their boots.
Taylor, for your workday, has clawed a few spots ahead, sitting at 378th last week on 96 points. She has now moved to 374th on 101 points, and then looking at us, we were 303rd on 106 points. This week we are 275th on 112 points. Yes, very good. Now to look who's leading the competition, who's up for the $1,000 thanks to Thirsty Camel. In third spot, currently tied, is Nathan R. and Lachlan C. Lockie Cox and Daddy Nato on 128 points. And Benjamin M. Hey, it's Pingu, also tied in third place on 128. In second place, we've got Craig M., Asada's Boys, and Zach B. Bucks, tied on 129 points.
Wow.
And in first place, Kyle H. Geelong 03 on 133 points. He's 4 points clear in first place. Only 2 rounds to go. It is tight, but it might be just enough to get him over the line to win that $1,000.
Everyone is on Kyle H's back. He is Adelaide's most wanted man. Chase him down, but I don't know, he's holding pretty strong.
For everybody up there who's only a few points behind first place, whatever you do, don't miss your tips.
Yeah, don't forget.
Make sure you get him in because $1,000 is up for grabs here. You're with Tom and Callum. It's 9:47. That's your footy tipping for this week. over the weekend, I was chatting to somebody. I won't name names because we want to keep this as anonymous as possible. But I was talking to someone and I needed to log into something of theirs.
Yep.
So they were giving me the email, and then, we've talked about embarrassing emails plenty on the show before. Everyone had one, especially your first email.
Sure.
Always bad.
On the MSN when you're about, 10 years old.
Yeah.
It's ruthless.
But what we don't talk about are the embarrassing passwords, which I feel like are most of the time more embarrassing than emails because they are private. They're only for you. And when you do have to tell someone that password, that is a bit embarrassing.
So how did you
It raises questions.
Yeah. How did you get in the situation with this person at work who,
I wasn't going to say work.
I'm just feeding little droplets of information. I won't say the name though, but how did you get to the point where you're putting in their password? Because obviously that's a compromising position for them to be in if they do have an embarrassing one.
Yeah, so I had to log into something to do with work.
Yeah.
It was a certain website and they had the login details. It was their personal thing that I needed to use. And so as I'm logging in, I'm putting in the email, normal email, that's fine.
Yep.
Get to the password. I'm like, what's your password? And they go, capital W, whips excite me.
Whips excite me?
Whips excite me.
What the hell? Did they say it blasé or were they a bit reserved like, it's crazy. And you can't blame it on when you were younger either.
It was like trying to keep it pretty nonchalant and with the whole capital W, yeah, just whips excite me. And I'm going, yeah, capital, wait, what?
Oh, yeah, me too. That's my password. What the hell?
What's your embarrassing password? When I was younger, I used to call myself... This is really embarrassing. I used to call myself Captain Porkchop on games like Minecraft and things.
Was probably the toughest era to be friends with you. It's better now, but if you were to bring back Captain Porkchop, I just don't know.
Ego.
I just don't know if we could go on.
And that was my password for almost everything as well. Not anymore, so don't try and hack me. But it was Captain Porkchop. Yeah.
I've taken the alias off. I know a bloke who was setting up a Wi-Fi password at his house, and he got like an IT person to come in and put in the Wi-Fi monitor and set up the password.
Right, sure.
And then he asked the dude, what did you set my password as? He'd done Peter Eats Chips. The tradie guy wrote Peter Eats Chips because...
Was the tradie Peter?
No, tradie's not Peter. The guy who wanted the password's Peter. And he's scoffing chips in the lounge room and didn't realise the tradie was watching him. So the guy was taking the piss, being like, you're a gluttonous pig eating the chips over there. I'm going to set your password as that.
That is rough. Hey, I know another person who, when they finished their law degree, changed all their passwords to I'm a lawyer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Big lawyer baller out there?
Yeah. Hey, plenty of embarrassing passwords coming through the text line. Get involved on 0428 927 927. We got this text here. My daughter's password is Dad is the boss.
Yeah, good one. Hey,
not embarrassing. That's just I'll take that.
You know what? For your daughter to have that as well, it's a nice compliment.
Remind her that when she's 18.
Yeah. We got this one here. I worked in retail, and it wasn't a password, but the email. There was one that springs to mind called Big Pink and Stink from a 50-year-old lady.
Why'd
That's
you read
horrific.
That? Come on, mate.
That's horrific.
Oh, yeah, all right. Hey, another text here. This was a generic password that the computer made up. It was QAZWSXEDCRFVTVGBYHNUJM10.
You'd have to have one hell of an acronym to try and remember that.
Well, the funny part about this password is they didn't have it saved. So every time having to plug in all those numbers or writing it down, why just change the password at that point.
You know what's funny? We got a two texts here saying LMNOP as one word was the password. So back in the day, classic one.
There you go. My boyfriend asked for my password for something and I was mad at him. It was Tim sucks.
That's not what you want, Tim.
We're all good now. What is it now? Tim's good?
Tim's okay. Cool? Tim's surviving the relationship.
Tim's on his last straw. Yeah.